How y'all doing? All right, so it's a little dark out here, but I've got a copy of my book here. I'm going to read you tiny excerpts out of it. Cystic fibrosis is a life-threatening genetic condition that fills my lungs with a thick, sticky mucus that I can't cough out easily. It ruins my pancreas and requires 30-plus medications a day just to digest my food. In addition, I spend 2 hours every day using a nebulizer in the hopes that it will open my airways long enough to breathe between treatments. It causes a rare form of diabetes that I manage with insulin. I usually spend several months every year attached to an IV pole at the University of San Diego hospitals, accessed through this port that was surgically implanted into my chest 5 years ago. My lung function currently ranges from 40 to 70%, and I have been hospitalized not once, not twice, but 3 times this year already. When I was born in 1987, the life expectancy was just 14 years old. However, I stay optimistic because of my love for fitness, the advancement of prescriptions, and my obsession with healthy, clean eating. I can stand here today at 29 years old as one of the oldest, fittest cystic fibrosis patients left in the world. 29 is usually a time in our lives when we're settling down, juggling a career, and contemplating starting a family. On the weekends, we're out drinking Grey Goose with our girlfriends, talking way too much about the things our boyfriends do that drive us nuts. We're texting our parents selfies and reminding them to go out and live a little now that they have an empty nest. We tweet, we hashtag, we like, we share. I know you like your social media, that's right. We are so busy on how our lives look versus concentrating on what our lives feel like. We know more about Kim Kardashian than we do economic policies. We get carried away too much by the things we're doing than to truly appreciate the moments we are living. If you were born today with cystic fibrosis, you could expect to live to 38 years old. Let's do the math. If I were born today, at most, I could expect to live to be 37 years old. This means statistically, my life is 78% over. Statistically, I have less than a decade left. The following is an excerpt from my upcoming book, which launches later this fall. This is the 3rd time in 20 minutes my IV pole beeps, alerting me to the sound that there is air in the line of my portacath. I glance at the clock, 2:32 a.m. You would think that hospitals are a place to get rest, to sleep, to actually recover. But during the day, there's a host of people running into and out of your room. And at night, there's a host of people checking to see how the medications are working into your body. In the past 6 hours alone, I've had 2 blood draws, 4 respiratory treatments, 38 pills, and a continuous drip of IV antibiotics that threaten to take away all of my future opportunities if this bacteria continues to grow. I know I could page the nurse and let her deal with my finicky IV pole, but we would spend the next 3 hours chatting and catching up on everything we missed in the 2 months since I've seen her last. So I decided to get up myself and walk to my machine. I adjust the settings and flick the air bubbles back up through the IV pole into the drip bag where they belong. I then check the alarm and fix it so it's not mind-numbingly loud when it goes off again in 5 minutes. Despite the lights glowing from my machine, the room is dark. The sound of my lungs working for the first time in months penetrate the emptiness. For the most part, there's an eerie silence, with the exception of a random cold blue, that in a very twisted way reminds me to be thankful the fact that tonight, my cheeks still have color in them. I open my eyes and glance around in the thankfulness to have such vitality, for after 28 years being told next year may not happen. I have my blanket from home and my lucky teddy bear to keep me company. On the shelf next to my pill cup are 24 roses the love of my life dropped off yesterday. This hospitalization's relatively easy, but every night I can't help but wonder if the roses will outlive me. I spend the nights here thinking about how much I genuinely love my life. When you're grateful for every moment, it doesn't matter whether these moments are good or bad because you just want another one. You stop trying to capitalize on only the good stuff because the bad stuff is still a reminder that there is air in your lungs. There's a power in your existence. I need a walk. I decide to unhook myself from my own IV. And even though it's unusually warm in my room, I put on a sweater. Not only does the needle not show when I'm wearing a sweater, but the power of me looking like a visitor is an affirmation to myself that tonight I will not leave through the morgue instead of the entrance. I peek outside the door, make sure the nurses won't notice me duck into a stairwell. They aren't staff to me, they're friends. They've been here when visitors aren't even able to make it. They were even there for me a few years ago when a guy I was dating broke up with me via text message because dating a woman with CF is just too hard. I have spent birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmases, and all major holidays with these people. My mind continues to race back and forth between past and future as I saunter into the hall and sneak into the hallway that a security guard once showed me. I set my phone to go off at 3:30 a.m., so I'm next in line for my next round of IVs, where nobody know I was gone. I'm genuinely happy here, and I wonder if that's what happens to criminals when they get institutionalized. I can't imagine a life without these walls every few months. I take what I can get when I'm out, but when I'm here and I'm getting healthier, there's a tranquility. It seems ironic that I love nights in the hospital. There's an eerie peacefulness to the emptiness of a hospital hallway at 3 a.m. Still though, what if? What if this is the hospitalization where I leave through the morgue instead of the entrance? As a kid, I was very involved with becoming friends with other cystic fibrosis people, until one by one they died off. And I wonder how many of those kids had a chance to say their final farewells. I sometimes like to practice myself what I would say to my loved ones if I only had a few moments left. Mom, I know it's not fair that you lost your mother and are now burying your daughter before your own hair turned gray. I remember coming home from school and seeing dinner in the oven, but yet you were jogging around the neighborhood. I never would have lived as long as I did without fitness being the forefront of my childhood. You created such an example, and I don't know to this day how you managed to raise 2 kids, have a full career, make time for your own fitness, and drag me to every cheerleading practice and then every football game to watch me cheer. You're my best friend. You're my inspiration. Mom, you may have loved me as long as I've lived, but I need you to know I've loved you my entire life. Dad. Remember that time I was 16 and you wouldn't let me go downtown dancing with my girlfriends? I slammed the door in your face and I screamed I hated you, because I did. I never told you this, but I'm glad you were tough on me. And thankful you never coddled me and always wanted more from me than what I wanted from myself. I never understood how a father's love worked. I wasn't an easy girl to raise, and yet every day you held this family together. You always had a smile on your face and you were always so strong. I love you, Dad. P.S. Mom needs you now more than ever. If you haven't kissed her lately, take a moment to tell her how beautiful she is and kiss her like you did 30 years ago when you said I do. Little brother, I know you didn't have an easy childhood, and you acted out a lot because you never got the attention. Not many people ever believed in you, but you believed in yourself. And look at you, you just graduated college. You're on your way to becoming an accomplished architect. I'm sorry I won't be there for your wedding, but I want you to know something. I'm so proud of the man that you've become. To the love of my life. Do you remember, long before we ever told each other how we feel, I made you sit and watch When Harry Met Sally? There's a quote in that movie. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. I know I gave you a hard time about moving in, but the reality is, no matter how much time I have left, I want to spend every night in your arms and every morning with your kisses. And if for some magical reason I did live to another 60 years, there still wouldn't have been enough time. One of my biggest regrets in life is that I never met you sooner. The one thing nobody tells you is that statistically, more people die in hospitals than they do in their own homes. Statistically, most of these deaths happen between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. Statistically, all of my loved ones should have already been to my funeral. There is a power in being able to walk the halls at the right place and right time that pretty much guarantees my exit through the morgue. And I start to really let that sink in. There's a power right now in every breath. It signals to my brain that I am not the statistic, not tonight. I'm too busy living to die. I have a bucket list full of things to check off. And I believe that one day I will create something worthy enough to share with this world. In the midst of my thoughts, doctors and nurses rush past me. The light in the hallway auto-adjusts to accommodate as the speakers boom. Code blue, code blue. Attention staff on 2 West, there's a code blue in room 211. I close my eyes and offer up a prayer of gratitude that tonight I survived. I just hope who was ever in room 211 was able to truly appreciate the moments they were in. I hope they had a chance to tell their loved ones goodbye. And I hope more than anything that they realized life isn't measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the number of moments that take our breath away. Thank you.
Wow. Another round of applause, please.